Again for the Mitchell's Magic Christmas annual walkthrough tour, and I thought I'd do something a little different this year because I've done several of these at nighttime with the display lit. I thought I would today do kind of a backstage tour, and so I figured I'd do this in the daytime. And as I always start, I'm across the street just looking at the front of the house, and we'll take a little tour through the display, and I'll just show you some of the kind of the backstage workings of the things, and show you the elements of the display as well. As I have my 2 and 2 sign that I did up, and some of the wooden cutouts that I do, along with the mini trees, and a Merry Christmas sign, which some people have asked how it's made, and it's just this fine chicken wire netting. And all the lights are actually used little twisty ties onto the screening for the Merry Christmas sign. The mini trees are all done with tomato cages, and then they are wrapped in some of the green garland, and I have 400 lights on each one. The green tree that's seen in a lot of things is actually, a lot of people think it's a mega tree, but it's actually a flat wooden cutout that I've just put 800 lights on it in 8 channels, and those just string up and down, and a bunch of reflectors on it which catch the lights of the headlights of the cars coming up the street. My donation box still looking to improve. So I really haven't come up with a good idea, but I would like a nice, much better box. The arches themselves here are all made with PVC tubing, 3/4 inch PVC tubing, and the lights are wrapped all the way down the length of it, 700 lights to each arch. These star poles here are made from a 1/4 inch steel rod, and also with the steel electrical conduit, again wrapped with lights. And everywhere we look, we will see the strobe lights that we use for the flickering effect. Everything is controlled with these lightorama boxes. Each box controls 16 different elements. And if I open the boxes up, you can see inside the circuit board and the microprocessor that's in each box that controls them. I have 13 of these boxes around the yard, and they control the entire display. There's 3 more over here on the wall, and the massive spaghetti on the ground. This wiring is definitely something that's needed for a display of this size. Up on the roof here is the dancing Santa, which is made with a sheet of Coro, which is like plastic plywood. It's what they make the political signs and stuff out of, and you just draw your design on the back of the Coro, and basically you poke the lights through the Coro into your design. Also is the singing Christmas tree, which is done the same way. If we look up close here, you can actually see the way the lights are on it. Countdown to Christmas clock. And some of the very old blow molds that we have in the display. Those are really old up here here up on the roof is an old Polaron sleigh and rain does. They used to be reindeers, but the antlers are all broken off. We can look in on the porch. So you can see this in the night videos also. Now up on the hillside here, I have my Big Marty fan, which is made with a steel frame, and 30 sets of 100 count mini lights. Also are the new for this year, the candy cane wheels, which are each made with 12 candy canes. To make those, I basically just got some of this garden fencing from Home Depot and zip tied all the candy canes onto the wheel. Walking over this way, I have my mega tree, which is, you know, smaller on the scale of a lot of people's. This one's only about 12 foot tall to the peak, or to the top of the star, and it runs on one box, which is tucked in the middle of the tree here. And I have all my line of cutouts here. Let me step over these lights. Which I make, I find a picture that I like, and I put a grid on the picture, and I come up with a scale to the size that I want, and I can then transfer everything from the grid to the plywood and make pretty good copies of the items that I want. I have a nice line of soldiers here, and then on the porch, ticket booth, and something that I just bought the other day, a little roller coaster, Santa roller coaster, which is kind of nice. Here is the carousel, which I did build. We had a lot of issues with the carousel of it breaking down. Finally this year they've got it running. If we can see this well, but I got a little windshield wiper motor. It's running on a gear, and that's what's controlling it now. Inside on the turntable are two old of the Christmas tree spinners, but the gears on those and the motors all stripped out after a couple of seasons of snow and ice. Now over here beside the house is something I never get a good shot of at night, which is my sleigh with the reindeer and the Christmas cow. These are some of the first cutouts that I did. They've been around for quite a while now. Now, one last thing that people ask about is the program that I use to create the shows, and this is it. It's called Lightorama, and I'm going to open up a show here, open up a sequence, and show you what this looks like. And each of the dots or lines represents a different different item out in the yard, and you go through the song, and you can see all the different effects and things that turn all the lights on and off. And I can also bring up an animation, which is basically a representation of my display, and I use that to have an idea of what the lights are going to look like in the yard. and it allows me to actually play it to see what the display is going to look like. And that's about it. Have a Merry Christmas.